Okay, so okay, let's go back home. How much of this CRUD did we do? All of it?
All of it.
We did create. Did we do validations? We did. You guys good with that?
Yeah.
Good with validations. Okay, deleting. Okay, show one. Add the review here. Okay, let's do this a little bit different. So instead of adding the review here, we'll have a link that loads a different component to where you can create the review. And once you create the review, it'll come back to this component to list out all the reviews.
Okay.
Okay. Which shouldn't take too long. So let's start off with this. Is that too small?
No.
Okay.
Are you good? Right here.
Let's go to source. If it was just okay, and then go to app, and I think it's the show one. Edit. Add a review, this one. Input.
Are we going over one-to-many?
No, I'm okay. Thank you though. One-to-many. That does look good though. Not too shabby.
Some kind of sausage I bought at Costco. The good ones. What? You guys like that flavor? Different flavors?
You shop at Costco?
I do shop at Costco.
For yourself?
Yes.
At Costco? For one?
I don't buy a lot, so when
Oh,
I
okay.
just buy like 2 to 3 things.
That's so weird.
That's what I was saying. That's how I shop too at Costco. It was just me, my wife, and I can't buy a lot either. I eat out too much.
You go.
And you build, huh?
You go, yes.
Okay, where am I at here? CD into my public and run ng build -- watch.
Are you recording this?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's cool.
Alex was here. You think I'm not recording it?
Yeah, right. I saw the
She'll
icon,
remind me.
And then I was like, oh, wait.
Okay, so yeah, we're gonna take this part out and we'll have another button here to add a review. Review / well, I guess we don't need that, right? So for from this page, we click add a review. We want to load another component to create the review. So when we get to that component, we're going to need the task so that when we make the query to the database, we can say, I want this review that was just created to be added to this task ID.
Yeah.
That makes sense? Okay, so we'll do this review / task ID / review / task ID. And if we go back, refresh this, click add a review, nothing happens, but we get this error that says uncaught, cannot match any routes URL segment to / review / ID, right? Which is what we want, or at least what we know should happen. So we would need to create another component. Where did I run my server at? Oh, on this one. So we'll need another component, and we can add a component called review. By the way, you guys should, oh, never mind, I'll mention it later.
NGGC?
Yeah, thanks. ng generate component review.
GC.
Yes. Generate component review. Is that how you spell review? Yeah.
Yes.
If we look here, there's my review. Okay, so now I can go to my router and add / review here. / review. And this one will be my review component.
when I do that, my thing doesn't autofill. Like the
Nice.
top part, so I have to always like write it out for the import as well.
Dang.
Yeah, it kind of.
That's annoying.
Is there like a function or like a?
Nothing that I customly changed.
What the hell? My VS Code.
Does it do it every?
Yeah, it never does it. I have to do it on my own.
Because sometimes mine doesn't do it first, so I like delete part of it and retype the word.
Nothing stupid.
Add review. Cool. Review works. All right. Now we can go to that review. Or let me grab this stuff first. We can go to that review and we'll just paste this in here, uncomment it, so we can refresh, and there's our review. So now here we can add the code. So let me just style this real quick. Okay, so add review. Now we are able to get the ID through the URL. So let's copy that code. It should be the exact same as this whole thing. Okay, and this whole thing's gonna be the same thing. We're just copying it, or I can just type it out too. Let's just type it out just so we know. But it's essentially gonna look like this. So if we go to the review component.ts, we need to import our HTTP service file, and that'll be from this guy, HTTP service. Then in our constructor, we can add private underscore HTTP service as an instance of the HTTP service class.
Do we have a semicolon at the top? Or is that
Here?
Yeah.
We should add it, yeah. It won't break without it, but you should always add that. Other things that you'll need is these two guys. Right, goes down here. And we also got to import these two guys as well, the ones up top. So we'll add active router, just this one line. Okay. Now that we've added that, this is the code from the same code from the platform, and then the same thing here, because we're just gonna on init, we're gonna get the ID. We'll store it in a variable called task ID that we actually have to create up here, right? And yeah. Now if we wanted to print task ID on init, we can just console log just to make sure that we actually are getting the data. Okay, so if we refresh this page, it should show up on the right here, which it is here. This one says, cannot read content of undefined, line 5.
Your NG model.
Oh, where? Oh yeah, you're right. So we don't need you, don't need you. So there's review component, yes, it doesn't have the review content yet. So we're gonna need that as well. So the review will be, what's the key in it? Content. And that'll be an empty string. No, don't need that. And let's see if that error is still there. Cool, error's gone. But now the content, we can type it in and we can see it's two-way bound. So now we can move on. We know that the two-way binding is working. So now we can create the task, or create the review, sorry. So on submit, we'll need a function in here, but let's make sure we have that. Okay, so on submit, this is a function we want to run as soon as we click submit. And so let's build out that method. And we can run this underscore HTTP service dot create. Oh, we already have that in there. Okay. Create the review. We're gonna pass in the task ID. This dot task ID, and also pass in this dot review. We need both of them. We need the review, which holds the content of the review, and we also need the task ID so that we know which task this review belongs to. Okay. Then we can subscribe. Eventually get our data back, and once we come back, we'll console log data. Okay, so create review seems to already be created. Let's see what was already in there. Service, create review. We get the review, then task ID. I think it's a little backwards. Task ID was first, right?
Does it matter if it's flipped?
Depends though. In the order that you pass it has to be the order that you received it in.
Okay, got it.
So here
That's
I did.
Yeah, I messed that up.
ID was first, and then the review. So my service, it has to be the ID first, and then the review. And then this is it. So task / task ID / review, and then pass the reviews to post data. So now we go to our server. We have this one. Don't know if that quite works yet though. Let me just see the schema. So it has content. Should we add another component to it, or is that good? Like a rating?
Yeah, I think yeah, sure.
You guys want to?
Yeah. I don't know.
Rating will be good.
Okay, so we'll have a rating. Type will be. String's fine. Doesn't have to be a number.
Okay.
We'll just do a string, content title.
If it was a number, then it would be an integer.
Yeah, and here it'll just be integer. All right.
INTs. Like as a kid.
One of these. Oh, actually, it's number. That's what it was.
Number.
Yeah, it would just be number, but we'll leave it as a string, which is still fine. Minimum length. We don't need that. Just required. Okay, so now we have to change it here in our review component. So we have to have content and rating, right? I think that's it. But let's add that here to our review. Content, rating. Refresh. Let's just make these smaller.
MB2.
Yep. Let's make this one. Okay.
Let's do a placeholder too.
Let's. This one is review. Rating. All right. Cool. So if we click submit, something happened. Success. We got a task, the reviews. Create review, first review. I like this stuff. Yeah, let's look at the terminal though. Any problems with this one? Doesn't look like it. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's we're able to get all of the tasks. So once it's created, we want to go back to the other page, right? Back to where the task ID. So let's redirect. Yeah, let's go to the home. Which one does that? Edit does. So we need this one. Okay, so once it gets it there, we can redirect to slash, what is it? I forget the route. I want to go to slash show slash ID. Show slash, oh, we gotta concatenate, plus this dot task ID. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's refresh, hit submit. Cool, comes back to here, learn the guitar, and it should list out all of the tasks here. So if we get one task, we get all the tasks and reviews in there. And these were created, these bottom two, the empty ones. So let's loop through it inside of our show page. Show. And then instead of the form here, we can have H1 all reviews. Okay, then we'll use a div and do ng for loop, where we let let review of task dot reviews. Okay, and then inside of, let's just do p tags, I guess. P tags will have review dot content and review dot rating. Content and rating. Okay, refresh. There's that. Why is there no rating? Oh, the top three don't have ratings, that's right. And well, none of them have ratings because we didn't give them any ratings. Okay, so if we want to add a review, let's say my newest review, give them a rating of 100, or else 55. Submit. There's my review and there's my rating.
That's great. That's great.
That's what I needed.
So let's review the service. We didn't really get into the server.
Yeah,
That's
so
exciting.
I think this is where I got all messed up. My data didn't come back.
Yeah. And this is all I'm doing, just this,
Is it?
to create a review.
You don't do task.create and then do task.find value after.
No, you don't have to create a task because the task already exists. We're adding a review to a existing task. So first we need to, first of all, find the task that we want to update with a review. We'll set the parameters here with the task ID. So we want to find the task based on their ID, and then we're going to run this code that that pushes our reviews into the reviews key of the task schema and pushes in the rec.body, which is our review. Okay. And then at the end, there's no callback. Okay, I'm just using the dot then and the dot catch to create a new review. I think I sent this part. Did I send this part to everybody?
Yeah, laterals.
Yeah. Okay, so this is just creating the review. The other one, the find and update, this one is also a different one that you need to run the validators for the task, to update the task to make sure that the validations are still being ran for updating as well as for creating. Okay. Cool. Okay, any other questions? No?
No.
Alrighty. Well, I will upload this.
Thank you.
Should be up in a couple hours. Probably in the next hour. Alrighty. Well, thanks, guys.